Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on CrossFit Garage. And yes, I'm still looking for a better name than the name of the gym, but at least you know where to find us. You know, here we are trying to build a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances, as well as get to know members. So I'm here with Randy Skeen. We have been planning this for like 6 or 7 years before we knew each other, and he is like finally put me in his schedule. He took an entire week of vacation just so we could talk for an hour.
Which should be a red flag. Please don't say yes to Andy in the future. It consumes way too much time.
Everybody needs to do this. Yes, it is probably true. It red flags, it abounds with me. So what you guys probably don't know is that Randy moved here from a sailboat.
I did.
So tell us how that worked out. So you decided to live in a sailboat.
All
of a sudden people were like going, wait, I thought this was a podcast about CrossFit.
Thank God it's not about sailing. So we didn't do much of that.
Didn't? I didn't even ask you that. So you actually just stayed parked the whole time?
No, we did sail it a few times. So it was actually my wife's idea. We were moving from North Carolina to San Francisco, and we're looking at homes in Berkeley, and basically everything was like $2,800 that had a shower curtain that split off the bathroom from the bedroom.
Right.
And I refused to do that. So we bought an old Ericsson 32 sailboat.
Yeah.
And moved on and made it ours and did a lot of the work ourselves, and it was awesome. We'd wake up and have bat rays and the whole 9 yards.
When you did take it out, were you like legit sailors? Like you had the license, or you're just like, I don't know, we'll get it out? Okay, you don't have to have one, or
they
is
just
it
push you out and hope for the best?
Is that what they do? Interesting. So in a car, you need some sort of. I guess there's enough space. They're like, look, just don't hit each other.
Which is crazy because the first day we got it, we came back, we docked it, and the next morning we came out. There was a boat 2 slips down that had sunk overnight, and it was just a mass sticking out of the water. And my wife, who had never been on a sailboat before, was like, "Does this happen often?"
I'm thinking no, but
no, it doesn't. But we had a bunch of weird issues. We saw a friend of ours died actually out there, sailing out of the bay. He got hit by the boom and went over.
Hit by the boom is
the boom is the
boom.
The mainsail.
Yeah.
Knocked him over, drowned.
Pun intended. Sorry, too early. Too
soon.
Too soon. Yeah,
Man.
sorry, man. I know. I
It's
can't help with
I'm gonna
joke.
go cry for the next 2 days.
That's part of my job in this podcast is to get Randy to cry. So there are very few people who are as glasses half full as myself and Natalie Guffey, but Randy is right up there. He's working on it. So I promised him in this podcast I will somehow make him cry.
You're determined to take that from me. I appreciate it.
I'm going to take your joy. I'm going to take it. It's going to be mine. So that is pretty sad. So he got the wind changed directions and he got popped and
not sure.
Yeah.
But they found him separate from his boat. But yeah, we sailed, I don't know, half dozen times, but we had everything we owned on there, and it was pretty daunting when you were like, if anything goes wrong, our whole lives just disappeared.
Did you have pictures?
Pictures, computers, literally.
Computers go because
books.
It's water. At least the pictures you might be able to like.
But everything, all of our worldly possessions were on that little tiny boat.
Yeah.
So it was a little daunting, and there were some times we got stuck out there in the bay. We're fighting the current and the
wind. When you say little,
like,
tell me, was it the size of this room we're in?
It's 32 feet long, stem to stern.
Okay, so about as tall as me then. 32 feet long. Okay.
Long.
I know. Not wide. Yeah. 32 feet. So that's 3 stories?
Yes.
3 stories.
Yeah, I would say from here to that wall, probably.
Oh, wow. So that's not 3 stories.
No, I don't think it was not large. It was a bed, a little kitchen area, and like a dining area. And that was pretty much it.
What would you do for the bathroom then? You can't just
use public restrooms. So when you're out sailing, you can use the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't tell me that. Okay.
And we did not have a holding tank. We had this cool thing to actually use the salt water to sanitize it.
Okay.
And then you could pump it out, but we couldn't if we were in the marina. So we used public restrooms.
And you made your best friends there.
We did.
In the public restroom.
Larry and Deb Blank were the phenomenal.
No way, Larry and Deb Blank?
You know that.
I do.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the hair?
No, he actually...
He doesn't have any. That's what I mean, yeah. He's the bald guy.
That's why I can't take you places.
Alejandra said that was a lot of fun, so whatever.
It was Alexandra.
Was it? No. Stop it. Yeah, you're going to mess me up. That was our waitress. I practiced saying her name so that I would sound less foolish, but it didn't help.
I love it.
That was still super foolish. So then you guys decide, hey, boats are for the fish, and we're moving to Woodstock, Georgia.
Yeah, but we moved to Midtown.
Okay, and that's a mistake, yeah.
It was awesome. Were you kidding?
Was it?
We loved it. We lived next to the park. We were always over there running in Piedmont. Loved it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm thinking Buckhead. You're in Midtown.
Buckhead's terrible.
Yeah. So you're in Midtown next to the park. So we used to, a fun fact that nobody knows, so it's not really, I'm making this up. So I ran track for Georgia Tech. And I was the pole vault guy.
The only pole vaulter, right?
I was right. I was the best pole vaulter, the only pole vaulter. But they didn't actually have a field thing. So all of the field guys would just train with the sprinters, and they would run to Piedmont Park.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, seems like a really long run for a guy who's
You
like
just jump
jumping
things
in
as
the
you
air.
run.
Right. They didn't tell me was there's a ton of dogs out there.
Yeah.
And if you step in dog refuse, you are called doo-doo for the next month. I'm like, so of course, first run out, smash, and they're like, hey, he's doo-doo. I'm like,
And it stuck.
are you kidding? It did to my shoe and the name, yeah, right? Double. So
I'm gonna make
Piedmont
you-
Park, I know that place.
A wad shirt with doo-doo. It's going to be
You
great.
could be,
we're
yeah.
going to take care of this for you.
I think, there was a lot of us called doo-doo because none of us freshmen knew to watch out for it. So,
Yeah.
we all got the name. But so Piedmont Park,
Yep.
and then up here to Woodstock because there's more trails.
Yeah, we really missed having some nature, and it
I
was
was
too
just
much.
making that up, and so that's true.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you have a farm? What do you have, acreage? What do you?
We're on 3 acres-ish, 3.5.
That's enough to have chickens.
It's great, man. We
You know,
have a
there's
little
like-
vineyard.
Do
We have
you?
grapevines. We have blueberry bushes everywhere. Some apple trees. Some
I
peach
heard
trees.
it from the grapevine.
Yeah, you did. But it's great. I get to watch hawks attack things in the front yard while I'm
Yes,
working.
no, that's true. You should get some chickens. You'll see the hawks go to town. It is true.
Yeah,
That's what happens
I know
at our
you're
house.
right.
Yeah, I know it is.
Danielle, my wife, is really pushing for chickens. We just don't have time.
Is she on Facebook or Instagram?
All of the above.
Okay, so I'm going to friend her and then make sure she sees this podcast. Danielle, I own chickens and I can hatch chickens. And I know you have a daughter who would love to have a little
Yes.
chicken. And I will give you guys chickens to start your chicken factory.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
I owe you one.
Yeah, you do. So she will hear this.
Her brother has a whole chicken coop that we love, and
Okay.
we always get dozens of eggs from him in North Carolina.
So you go up there and get them and
Yeah.
bring them down?
So
So
when they come down,
does he
we'll
have a
raise
rooster?
No,
Okay, well, I was going to say you could just fertilize, or you could just keep those.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
that's right. You could just keep
Don't put
those,
that on me.
keep them warm. So I saw this guy, he taped a egg to his side and then put insulation around it. And since your body is 98 degrees-ish, whatever, they need to be about
making
100.
this
No, it's true. They need to be about 100 degrees and a little bit moist. And so he just kept
Is
the
that
egg.
what that bulge in your shirt
That's
is?
right. That's most people think it's muscles, but
This
it's
guy,
not. Yeah,
I know.
This, yeah. I know. I have too many details, right? And so he hatched a chicken on himself, which is like, I mean,
Weird.
I'm tempted.
No,
So,
you're not.
Oh, I am. I mean, I love like weird stuff. Like, it's like at the gym. Like, can you do a muscle up? I don't know. Let me try that. Can you do it with one arm? I'm like, hold my beer.
Andy,
I'm
I
in.
got $20 right now that says you will not do this.
Muscle up or to like keep an egg on me.
You won't do a muscle up while hatching a chicken.
I would do that. Oh yeah. I could take it at the very end and just I can't.
duel.
He gave me $20. It's in my wallet right now. He gave me my $20. So I guess I won this
got
bet
next
anyway.
time.
Yeah. So Danielle, when you need chickens and you're ready for it,
Yeah.
if you don't have a coop, you can go to Tractor Supply.
Mm-hmm.
Up here, this is what we use to act like we are farmers. We go to a store called Tractor Supply.
I've been there. I
Oh,
love
you
it.
have.
It's great.
And they got everything you could need if you want to pretend to be a farmer.
They have great mats for CrossFit.
They do.
The horse stall mats.
That's exactly what we
Yeah.
use, except it took us probably, so nobody else is going to notice this, but every mat on the other side of the red line, they all look the same.
The red line.
Yeah, so the red line is where children can't cross.
Oh, uh-huh.
It's just right up front. And the ones on the other side of the red line don't look like the rest, but they all match as well. It took us like 10 years to keep buying mats over and over and over until we got like all the same, because there's like 9 styles. I'm like, dang it, I thought we bought the wrong style again. Yeah, it took us years. So if you go outside,
Thousands of dollars
it's a lot
later.
of money.
Uh-huh.
And have
They're
you
not
lifted
cheap.
or moved one of those?
They're so heavy.
They're very heavy. It's like one of the worst things. They're like, you guys want to
Yeah.
move gyms and change locations? No, we'll just
Never.
stay here because that. Yeah. So the stall mat, if you get it, so it's thick enough, obviously a horse can walk on it with a shoe, a horseshoe?
Can
Yeah.
a man hatching a chicken walk on it?
You totally can.
Okay,
I do it all the
just
time.
confirming.
But so we can drop the kettlebells. But then
Yeah.
came like places like Play Fitness and other places that will lay down rubber for you, and it looks really cool. Except it's really thin, and if you drop a kettlebell, it splits the rubber, and then eventually starts, because now it's split. It starts to wear.
Yeah.
You're like, interesting. So I just paid a whole bunch more money for. The one thing it's supposed to be is a
did
rubber
not
floor, and it now Play Fitness you can actually buy the thicker grade, but almost everyone gets the cheap stuff because it's
Yeah.
expensive.
You've tried it though?
No. Well,
okay.
I know other gyms that did, and
Yeah.
it just you drop something and it splits right away. So if you use the horse stall mats, then they just don't match.
And we all know those members who love to throw the kettlebell.
Yeah,
There's
you.
always that one
Yeah.
guy.
I saw you shot put it. I'm like, just don't throw it from so high. And you're like,
That's why I use the little guy, just so I can launch it across the gym.
We should do that. Have shot put day with the small kettlebell.
It's like a Scottish Games event.
Oh man, that would be awesome. We get all our kilts. We'd be like Alan.
That's all. You just want to see me in a skirt.
I do. Yeah. I mean, you could wear Spanx underneath it, or whatever they call them. Something down there.
Do I need Spanx?
I mean, who wouldn't? Okay, so you guys, you're up here in Woodstock. You're thinking, I want to be a farmer.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, your real job's taking too much of your time. Mm-hmm. And somehow or other, you're like, hey, I'm going to go to this stupid CrossFit thing. So how did you end up finding us?
Yeah, so we moved from Midtown to Woodstock when my daughter was 1. And I think part of that, too, was the house was tiny. We were looking for more space. And with that, any young parent knows what the joys of life are with a 1 to 2-year-old.
Super awesome. Explain.
It's phenomenal, and I love my daughter, but my God, my time was no longer my own.
No, it never is.
Yeah, it was just struggling. So I think it was one of those things where I wasn't happy. I was working too much. I feel like every ounce of energy was committed to work or my daughter or something that was not fun, like chores.
Right.
And my wife was phenomenal and was like, hey, you need an outlet. You need to go do something physical, get your sweat on, beat yourself up a little bit.
And she actually works out and does a lot of stuff already.
She does. She's a baller.
Yeah, you had her come into that, do a session just for us. Yeah. It was like 4 of you. I forgot who else was there. Wasn't there 2 other people in there, or was it just you 2?
No, there's a crew.
Yeah, there was some people. Like other people came in and did something, and she's like, I can do this. Yeah, right.
Totally.
And then at the end, she was like, oh, that was actually kind of hard.
Well, her big thing is she's too competitive. She's like, if I joined a CrossFit gym, I would hurt myself. And she would. Like, she has some fun back and shoulder problems that she would hurt herself. But anyway, so she was the one who nudged me and was like, we're going to make time. You need to prioritize this. So stumbled upon CrossFit Garage and loved it.
Because when you Googled us, you were like, there's only one CrossFit garage in the area.
There's no other CrossFit garage that actually has chickens growing on men.
That's true.
And therefore, it was a clear choice.
So they say in many of the books is that the riches are in the niches. So we really go deep into the idea that, like, how many CrossFit gyms
Please don't advertise this.
have chickens?
I'm not responsible for sinking the gym. This is great.
We do. There's actually now, like, I think 6 family or members or whatever that have chickens and not growing on them, but at their home making their own eggs.
Yeah.
So
no, I would love it. We need to do it. It's just a matter of, we also have 2 dogs who would devour.
And that's okay.
Things.
Are they Labradors?
No.
Then that's what they're bred for. Yeah. What are they?
We have a Husky and like a boxer shepherd.
Oh, you have a Husky in Georgia? No, that's so nice.
We don't like him at all.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
why
shave him down?
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's worse for him.
I've heard that. So Jordan is a vet at the gym, and he has said, I said, I should probably shave him down. And he's like, if you shave him, it may never grow back the same way.
Totally.
I'm like, it's just hair. He's like, you would think.
It's an insulating layer too.
Yeah,
from the hot and the cold, and makes a lot of sense.
I don't know about that.
It is.
I'm gonna go. Well,
Let's Google.
Yeah, no, I can't because I turned my phone. So I know this now. My phone needs to be on airplane mode so people stop calling and texting while I do this, and I need to see this to make sure it's actually still going.
You've
so we
had
can
full
see
interviews that just disappeared.
Well, I did. So, but fortunately, these little Rode mics will record. And so then I was like, Levi, I have a job for you. And he's like, Dad, seriously, what? So he had to match it up, get it all time synced, and then take out all the extra like weird buzzing and stuff. I'm like,
child labor.
Yeah, that's right. So he knows how to do all this. So he was for a long time. He was a YouTube phenom on Fortnight.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Was he filming himself playing Fortnite?
Yeah, it was on the computer screen, and he would just do his thing. And he had like 6 subscribers. So
6 whole subscribers?
Yeah, he was crushing it.
So you guys are independently wealthy now from this YouTube channel.
Yeah. So there's actually a kid. Oh man, what is it? Baylen Levine. You ever heard of it? No. Okay, so there's a guy, not the singer Adam Levine, but another guy, Adam Levine, who
related?
No, not related. Weirdly, yeah. So his son actually is a YouTube phenomenon, and he's on tour right now. And they just posted, I can't believe this is real. And his son's coming out on stage, and they pan out to like the not from the stage, to the crowd, the stadium.
Yeah.
And he's got like this enormous like Fox Theater or bigger, full of kids yelling, Baylen, Baylen. So I'm like, weird. I know somebody who has like made that their, made it there.
Nothing makes me feel so old though, Andy. Like, I don't know how that's a thing.
So this will make you feel older. When's the last time you made a long distance call?
Technically today.
Oh,
We just don't get charged for it.
Valid. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But most other people, most listeners will not know what that is.
Do you remember when the phone numbers only had 7 digits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Back when I used my pager. It was amazing.
Did you have pager?
Oh, yeah.
No, you were too young for that.
It was middle school, man.
Oh, you were middle school. So you were like
great.
dealing in middle school? Yeah.
Dealing love.
Yeah,
enjoy.
of course. Yeah. So yeah, they're like, okay, I'm gonna explain this. A pager, it's funny. So think about your cell phone, except the only thing it does is it receives a call to its own number, and then it has a display, or it will just vibrate, and you're like, I don't know, somebody called me, right?
It gives you the number.
Yeah, now then it would give you the number. Then you could find a payphone, and you could drop a quarter in there or more to dial the number of whoever called you, and you hope that it was something important.
Well, then you had the code. You had different codes
I didn't
to
know
communicate like what you wanted. It was like, hey, pick me up.
Oh, so you could page them, and then instead of putting in the number, you'd be like
Yes.
666, and
Yeah,
or that's
exactly.
not right. That's not a good one. 777.
Okay,
yeah.
it got dark.
We're out of here. We're in Georgia, so we're okay down here. We deflect a lot
Local
of the
call.
bad.
This is
Yeah,
where this
that's
all
right. It's a
came
local call. Yes, it is. All right. See, tangents. This is fun. You're gonna laugh. So you end up. Your wife says you should do something, and then you said instead of like normal people, I'm gonna go jog. Like,
Well,
I'm gonna go do CrossFit because that sounds really crazy.
That's a good question. It's funny. I was jogging, but the Army, I was in for 5 years and I messed up my legs. So my IT bands.
Thank you for serving.
Yeah, thank you.
Your IT band, do you roll your IT band after working out like this one guy, says
I
after class?
try. I don't do it consistently despite Andy's prompting. But it is amazing. What you've done, it really has helped. And I think actually lifting and doing a lot of the squats and stuff has really helped my IT bands.
Oh, yeah.
But running was killing me.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be able to walk for a day after.
Pie
so
kills
I couldn't
me.
do that. What was that?
Pie.
Oh, pie.
Yeah, pie a la mode.
We all have our vices.
My usual crutches are alcohol and cigarettes, but I gave those up.
Pie. There's movies about that.
There is, yeah. Most of my material is stolen, so I'm gonna. If you have a good memory
Roll
for
with
movies, yeah, so you know exactly it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Later on, you're gonna be like, oh, it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You'll know.
God, I haven't seen that in too long.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been in a workout with me, and right before the buzzer goes off, I yell, San Dimas High School football rules. And almost everyone's like, why is he
What?
doing that? But it's from
It's a
that
Vanna
football
White
player.
reference.
Yeah, it's just, what's that?
It's a Vanna White reference.
It's that one too. Yeah, that was a. So I said, hey, I need someone to be my Vanna White and demonstrate the movement. And half the class looked at me. I'm like, well, all right, I'll come up with something else.
What you get for being 62.
That's true. I mean, hey, 103. I
Okay.
just tell people 62 because they don't
In
believe
dog
me.
years.
They don't
I
believe
like
in
this.
dog years. Yeah. So you said CrossFit because I don't have to run.
I don't have to run.
You don't have to. We do run, but you don't have to.
And I actually like it.
Yeah.
It's been a great way to mix it in. And it's funny, I think it's helping with the pain. And doing shorter distances has been really good.
Well, I mean, it depends on your point of view. 400 meters is a long way.
That's true. But I think even anything under a mile, like it's not the same
Yeah.
repetitive nature. It breaks it up. It's time bound.
Right.
So I've loved it. But
Yeah.
It's been great. And I was actually really arrogant at first and didn't think I needed the introductory classes that you
No,
guys
of course
offer.
you didn't. I actually can't see you be arrogant.
I've
I would have
done
been
this.
like,
No, I went with it.
You did?
But I
Yeah.
was annoyed at
Yeah.
first, and I'm so glad. I remember telling Jamie afterwards, like, this was the best thing. It eased me in. It made me feel comfortable in the surroundings.
so that's actually a good point. So if you join some CrossFit gyms, they're just going to throw you right into class. And we did used to do that. And the stickiness of it was about 1 out of 10. So 10%. There you go. So percentages for those who
Wait, walk me
Yeah,
through that
I know. How's that? 1, you divide it by 10,
Please
you
don't.
move
Keep
the
going.
decimal. Yeah. So the worst thing about worst thing for me, one of the worst things for me at the gym while coaching is when we do things that it's like every 1.5 minutes we're going to do something. I'm like, okay, the 0 I got, the 1.5 I got, 3? Guys, when we're at 3 minutes, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that math. And then like, what comes after that? I'm like, is it 5? No, it's 4.5, right? So math at the gym with the clock, I mean, it blows. I'm like, I can't.
That's interesting.
That's usually what I tell people. Watch the clock yourself. I'm going to coach you because I hate it when I get it wrong. And
Pass
they're
the
like,
buck.
shouldn't we be lifting by now? I'm like, oh yeah, that was like a minute ago. Sorry.
It's endearing for
Yeah,
what it's worth.
but I can do math. I can do regular math, not CrossFit math. So we'll start you off if you're brand new. We'll say, hey, let's do some one-on-ones.
Yeah.
And you have 5. Usually, it's 5 one-on-one sessions. You can then either move into class, or you could stay doing one-on-one, which we have a lot of people doing now. And usually, they do their one-on-ones outside of class. I'm like, that's fine. They just pick other times, and the coaches figure it out with them, and they come up with their own time. So, did Jamie know ahead of time that you were like, I don't need this? Or did you hide it well?
I think I told her pretty early on, though. I was like, hey, I'm glad. Like, I didn't think I would need this, but I'm glad. I'm not a jerk.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
but it was great.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
yeah, sometimes.
But yeah, it was awesome. I had Skylar, and I'm blanking on her name.
Natalie?
Nope.
Danny?
She moved on. She went to Crunch 2.
Oh, Tina.
Nope.
I can't remember. We'll just keep going.
It's always
I know.
Moving
I don't know.
on.
I'm
Yeah.
72. I can't remember. What's your name again? Is Mikey? Mikey. No, Timmy's my. I should have just said Timmy. Okay, so you did those. Then
Yeah.
what was your first actual workout? Do you remember what you did?
No recollection.
No. Yeah. What was?
I think I was hyperventilating, and therefore I don't remember. Like I blocked all of those negative workouts out.
And so you can literally rest anytime you need to. So it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be.
But it's really hard on the ego to do that.
True. If you do have an ego, just check it for a while and learn
Yeah.
and build it up, and you will catch up. But it's funny, there are some like older guys like myself who've been doing this for a long time. You're like, oh, well, I'll just do what he's doing. You're like, yeah, it's 15 years
Don't
into
do
it.
that.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
know what I'm doing. I can like
Well,
you work the system a bit.
I'd 100% agree with that. And it's funny, I would come home, and I don't think I've told any of you this, and be
Okay,
in bad
wait, hold
shape.
on. Secrets here. Let's go.
I would almost be like blacking out on the way home.
Oh, no, don't
I
do
would-
that, yeah.
I would overdo it, and Danielle would be like, "You have to stop,
Yeah,
please, like
yeah.
tone it back."
Yeah, don't do that. So
No, it was irresponsible.
yes to that statement, and the story to make you feel like you're normal, because you're not, but to make you feel like you are.
Thanks.
So there's Fran. Have we done Fran?
I don't know if I've done Fran.
Pull-ups and thrusters.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it's not a bad combination. You could do this. And if you can get under like 5 minutes, that's a pretty good Fran. So for whatever reason, because my ego was still there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to go as unbroken, as fast as I can. You know, I've done this before. I know I've done an under 3 minute. Can I do it faster, right? I did. It was like 2 minutes and 33 seconds. I rolled over to the wall and I laid there for 2 classes. And they're like, are you okay? And I'd give them a thumbs up and I'd try to smile. I was like, I
Don't
was
talk to me.
dying on the inside. It's like someone had like, just like inhaled all of my energy and I had nothing. I'm like, it's probably crashed all of the glycogen stores and everything. I was not good. I probably should have been more honest about it. So then the last time I tried to do this, I took like 2 days off, so I didn't work out and I felt really stiff. So I was like, okay, when I get home, actually I had my buddy Curtis drive me home. And so I was like, okay, the next day I'm gonna go work out to make sure that I'm not like too sore. I'm gonna get some of this off of me. And I didn't really do much, but I got in the car, my wife's behind me. This is when she would come to the garage too, and we're going to the Woodlands, so I gotta make a left-hand turn across 92. So it's like 900 lanes of traffic, and everyone's going like 600 miles an hour. And I get up to the light, and I start to turn, and I blacked out, and there's a truck coming, and it lays on brakes, and its nose is down. My wife's behind me honking. She's like, he just killed himself. What? Right? And she's freaking out. And I just slumped in the car.
No
and
way.
I wake up through the turn, because I guess when you let go of the wheel, it straightens out. So at
Thank
least I didn't
goodness.
hit anything. And I came to, coming through the sign at the Woodlands, or that the median, or the island or whatever they've got, and holding the wheel, shaking, like, oh my gosh, I think I just passed out. And then, of course, we got home and she laid into me. And I'm like, okay, note to self.
Whoa.
Don't ever do that. So yes, if you ever feel squirrely,
Yeah.
stay. Now, here's the thing. Almost nobody gets that way. It's only if you have like history, like you know how to push yourself. You were in the military. So I think it's people who, I think something interesting about CrossFit is it allows you to embrace the suck
Yeah.
more than normal. And if you're good at it, then you can embrace it and step into the nasty room and be like, I've been here before.
But it's not fun after.
No, it's not. And you shouldn't. We tell people all the time, do not step in the nasty room.
And I've learned.
Yeah.
I've learned how to back off, how to scale
That's right.
appropriately. Like it makes more sense. And I think I've really appreciated you teaching me that there's move days.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not pushing it. I'm just going
Right.
to show up, move the joints.
Yeah, Danny
I'm
hates
not
it when I
feeling
tell her that. Coach Danny, I'll be like, hey, today's a move day. She's like, Andy, wasn't yesterday a move day?
And tomorrow might be too,
That's right.
Danny.
Look, I'm feeling kind of stiff. I just need to, yeah.
I'm 62. Leave me alone.
75, I told you, I was really hurt. This is just, CrossFit makes me look younger. Yeah, it's totally what it is. Yeah, you definitely don't want to black out, and your wife is right.
Yeah.
So I can't help you, Daniela, with that. I said that wrong.
Yeah, it's cool.
I said it too many letters.
Julianda.
Yeah, Alexandra. Hi. But you gotta watch that'll keep track of all that. So listen to your watch, right? An Apple Watch.
Yes.
Want to tell you you're about to black out.
But then I can't wear this with certain workouts.
You can. You just might damage it.
Well, yeah, but that's why it's not worth it.
Yeah, you
With
got the money.
kettlebells and also the front squat. It just
Yeah.
isn't comfortable.
So it's because your hands are too far back.
Your
you
hands are too far back.
Yeah, so they are now because I'm imitating you. If you lift your hands up. Yeah, we just did bench press. I saw everyone's wrists. Not everyone. A bunch of people whose wrists were way back. I'm like,
But for front squat, this is what I was doing.
Yeah, so
You
then
do
you
that.
just, like, as you go down, you can, that's actually good point. It is a front squat. So I'm going to not edit this out. I'm actually going to edit that out so I don't sound stupid. I don't know how to edit these, so too bad. I just get to sound dumb. Okay, so you end up doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
You're still coming in, and I like this. So it used to be, if you're late, we made you do burpees, and that would be bad for you because you're late a lot.
Hey,
Which is
it's
okay.
True. I'm late all the time.
Which is okay.
Yes.
I would rather people show up late than never show up at all.
Yeah.
And life is life. You don't know what's going on, and things
92
happen.
is terrible. As
And
you
90,
mentioned.
oh,
Terrible.
man. I coach the 4 p.m. class sometimes. I'm like, I'm leaving the house at 3
Yeah.
to make sure I'm there before 4
Yeah.
because if I'm not
It's brutal.
there, right. So there is no, if you're late, you're in trouble. It's just happy to be here. I've actually had some people show up. They're like 30 minutes. So like class is half over, and I'll ask them like, "Hey, are you here for this one or the next one? Because if it's this one, I'm in. I just need you to row and get yourself warmed up."
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, "I am. It's just 92 is bad." I'm like, "That's totally fine,
Yeah.
right? Just don't do anything dumb. Like the first round, make that part of your warm up as well."
I've had John pull me in from the car where I'm sitting out there 20 minutes late, and I was like, I'm going to wait for the next one, and he's like, no,
Yeah, come
just
on
come
in.
on
Yeah,
let's just
whatever.
do it. And
Yeah.
So it's good, but I appreciate that changed, because I know when I first joined, I was still getting pressure from members
Yeah.
for being late.
Well,
And
sometimes they take the joke too far.
Yeah.
Or are they joking or not? So you have to learn.
I was
their-
new. I didn't know
Yeah,
the,
like
the
are you
culture
messing
yet.
with me? Yeah.
But I've loved it, and I still drop in when I need to, and it's been phenomenal, and I don't feel the pressure.
Well, I mean, the evening class with Andy. I mean, what could be?
It's a dream.
I mean, there's
It's a
jokes
dream.
galore. There's like, are you going to get fit? I don't even know. Will we work out? Maybe.
We'll talk.
So I do
talk for
use,
sure.
I will say this. I know it's hard to believe I am an introvert, but in class I know people, and I like it. People who are coming in, we're happy, humble, helpful people. And so, you put up your mantra and people fit that, and you end up liking a lot of people. So I ended up talking.
Yeah.
And so now I have to watch the clock a lot, and I write my own time frames down so that I don't mess up, because sometimes we don't finish a workout because it's me.
This is my talk window.
That's right. I get 3 minutes of board time, and then there's I'm like, oh my gosh, I need
But I
to
like
shut
it.
my mouth.
That's what makes this place fun.
Well, if it's not fun, then why would you come,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, so I tell all my coaches, there's the 3 F's of coaching. Have I told you these?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I haven't told you? The
don't
3
know.
F's. It's fun, fitness, and coaching. Because it needs to be. So one of the coaches ruined it, and they're like, couldn't you just say form? I'm like, no!
It was so much more
Yeah,
enjoyable.
no, I could. That's actually really good, but no, I'm going to say coaching.
Is that Italian?
It's not for coaching. It is. That's right. That's I'm 50% Italian. That's why I'm short. And I'm not very hairy for an Italian. I don't know what
Let's
happened
edit
there.
that out, too.
I know. I
People
can't. I'm not
don't
gonna edit that out. So in the '80s, it would have been a bad thing, but now in like the 2020s or 2010ish,
in the
whatever.
manscaped years.
Yeah, everyone's like, you want to shave your chest. I'm like, great, because I'm
Perfect.
like, baby, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. My sons are at college. They're like, Dad, I got more muscle, and I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm a tiny little guy, whatever. So you come in.
Yep.
You're doing these crazy workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice anywhere? Like, have you done any events that you're like, oh, I'm going to use this fitness in an event?
No.
Yes, you have.
I'm gonna make you work for
I
it.
know. I'm feeding you this line. So I tell Randy, I'm like, I do these stupid things called adventure races. I think you would really like it. You did some military. It's like a map, a compass, and it's a triathlon for
Yeah.
rednecks. And he's like,
It's awesome.
Hold my beer. I'm in.
And he held it the entire time.
And I proceeded to wreck you guys.
Yeah, it was phenomenal though. It was terrifying to sign up for.
So where did we go?
We went to Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, just north of Mount Pleasant.
I think that's right. I don't know where we are. It's South Carolina somewhere. North of Charleston?
Yeah, north
South
of
of Charleston.
North of Charleston.
North of Charleston.
And it was awesome. We got there super early in the morning. It was like 5 a.m. or something?
Yeah.
We had to be on site. Mm-hmm. And they gave us a bunch of map coordinates, and you had to plot them out on this giant map. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller, that map. It was a pain to work with.
Yeah.
And then they kick you out. We had to go.
It's good, though, at 97, with my eyesight going bad, to have these big maps. I can actually still read them.
No, I was
Yeah.
grateful too. However, the conditions were not ideal.
No, that's true. I forgot about that. It was raining on us.
Yeah, and
Which
the
then
maps were, like,
erased.
deteriorating.
Yeah. So they're supposed to be water resistant, but that, I guess, means
Not resistant enough.
different things. Like,
Yeah.
you could look at it with water, but if you actually put water on it,
Yeah, but it was
Forgot
awesome.
about that.
What was it? It was kayaking, running / trekking.
so
through,
you
like,
kayaked.
Yes.
And we canoed.
Oh, you didn't have a kayak as well?
I had,
Oh.
who did we race with? Oh, Brad.
Brad.
So Brad and I were in the canoe. That's why we were faster, because there's 2 of
Gotcha.
us. And every
Yeah.
time you paused to eat or drink,
Uh-huh.
we were still paddling, because there's always one
Don't
of us.
judge me.
Yeah. Well, no, that's fine. You can totally eat or drink. Let's see. I think it was pretty cold, too.
Yeah.
So we got off the canoe, and then the guy, so I like this guy's race because It literally is an adventure. You don't know what's going to happen. So we get out there, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, you need to plot using is it declination? Is that what it's called?" Come on, military guy.
No,
Let's just call it declination.
We'll go with that.
Whoever knows what it's actually called, email me. I'll totally read that, and I'll redo this whole podcast to put it in there.
I don't have the overwhelming inbox. Like you're gonna get so many messages.
I know, I get so many. It is a problem with me. The communication on this. Just make sure you write in English because there's so many foreign countries listening. Yeah, I can't Google Translate all that. So you would take your compass and get the.
You should shoot azimuth.
That's it. And they gave us the degrees.
I think so. And one of them we were totally backwards on. You remember that?
Yeah. They're like, I think it's north. No,
we were totally the wrong direction, which was bad.
But we got everybody.
And Andy, you had incredible wisdom here and told us to leave our water. And it's a short 20-minute in and out.
I did see that. So that is totally on me. So this is Randy's first race. Brad's raced before, so he should have known better. Brad, if you're listening, you should have said, "Nah, I've been down this road with you before." So we plot this stuff out. That's right. It was like you draw a line and draw another line, and where do they cross? That's where
your point
X marks the spot. Except the maps were wet. So what did we end up doing to mark
Poking
it?
holes with our pens.
That's what it was, which was super not good because I couldn't really tell where it was.
No.
But anyway, I thought it would be like, it's like a 30-minute jaunt, which turned out it was like 3 hours.
And again, this was like going through waist-deep swamps.
Oh,
and running
man.
on
You could have
sandy
just
trails.
drinking water from there if you were thirsty.
We could have, but I think Brad started to struggle. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, somebody gave him a Gatorade, right?
So it was, this actually worked out really well. So, what is it? Pay It Forward?
Yeah.
So Jason Long, who's one of my friend racers, was running by, and I was like, hey, I messed up, and Brad needs something because he's crashing. He said, here's a Gatorade, but I was going to drink that later. So fast forward in July, he and I raced together, and the race director said, hey, it is going to be really, really hot. Y'all be careful. We get out there, and we thought we brought like quadruple the amount of water we needed. Oh, yeah. He went down, and like a leprechaun out of the woods comes running by. He's like, hey, you look like you could use a cold Gatorade. Hands it to him and then runs off. I'm like, what?
That was me.
It wasn't you.
Jason. That was me.
It was Randy. We know who it is now. So he got the cold Gatorade, and it was like in Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox is playing the guitar and he's like fading out.
Oh, he comes right
and
back.
Ring. He's like, let's go.
Again,
like,
old references.
Yes. Is that old?
Yeah, dude.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like it's not that
80s?
old. Is it? Okay. Yeah, that's probably true.
I think.
Did you know in there, they projected in the almanac that the Miami football team would win the World Series, win the Super Bowl.
And they did?
And they did. And Miami didn't have a team back then. So they said, Miami wins the Super Bowl. That year,
No.
it is. You can look it up afterwards, but it's true. Everyone else go look it up. So they actually got it right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, same with The Simpsons. Have you seen the how many things they've predicted?
No.
Yeah, but they also have like 4 billion episodes, so it's hard not.
They're gonna get
you're gonna get something
statistics
right.
would say.
Right. The probability says you got it right. It's not AI. It's
Yeah.
we have said everything.
And brilliant writers. Come on.
What's that?
And brilliant writers.
Oh yeah, I mean those are pretty good. Actually, so my kids started watching South Park.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's a big thing now. And so they started still. So they started quoting Cartman, and I said, "Respect my authority." And they're like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "This came out in like
30 years.
Yeah." I'm like, "No, it hasn't." And they're like, "Dad, you were right. I'm so sorry." So those guys are still writing.
Oh yeah.
And it's horrible material, but it's still pretty funny.
It's relevant though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And everyone still watches it.
Which says something.
Do you know anyone that actually watches The Simpsons?
No.
And they still have.
They're still producing.
Right, but I don't know anybody that actually watches it.
No.
Yeah. Do you even watch TV?
Yeah.
I don't watch TV. Like real TV, like sit down Friday. You remember
Oh, I miss those days.
Must See Thursday? Must See TV? Must See TV on Thursdays? It was Thursday night, was like the big shows.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really jumping over the couch, like after commercials. It was amazing.
What's a commercial?
I know.
We had
Netflix
TiVo, so we
sticks.
could just. That was a beautiful
this is
thing.
pre-TiVo, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. TiVo doesn't even. It doesn't hold a candle. Y'all need to look that up. I actually owned some TiVo stuff. I don't even know if they exist anymore.
There's no way.
Yeah, because you can do that off of your cable modem now or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Record it.
Anyway.
Oh, Netflix. Yeah. You want to talk about
Adventure
CrossFit?
race?
Oh, adventure race. So you did pretty dang good.
We finished. It was like, what, 50 some miles?
And what was
Over 12 hours?
the goal was?
finish.
To finish, and we all finished.
And I think that actually...
Although you did say at one point,
leave me.
leave me. He was in your debut moment in your acting career. You were on the ground. Leave me, Charlotte.
Okay, that's a little dramatic. Come on.
It was. You just looked at me. You're like, leave me. I'm
No,
like,
I was overheating, man.
Yeah,
I was
you were.
dying on the bike ride, and that's when I was like, "Hey, I don't want to hold you guys back. Go."
right. And it's not that type of race, and like military, we don't leave our buddies behind. So
Yeah, you were great.
I said, right, I was.
Take
I
off
said,
all your clothes.
I go, Randy, do you trust me? And he's like, yes. I said, take all your clothes off. And he looked at me.
I take back my trust.
I said, just kidding, just your shirt. So what were you thinking that time? Like, there's no way I'm not coming out of this.
Oh yeah, I thought I was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't
Push
know how
the
I'm gonna
bike?
get back. Well, I don't even know.
So you had a good face for it. You just said, y'all go ahead.
I'll
I think I'm
figure it
good.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd figure it out.
We weren't that far. I mean, in reality, we're only like if we had taken a right, we probably would have been there quicker. But then we did more
We're
stuff.
still 5 to 10 miles away, right?
I mean, in the scheme of a 12-hour race, we weren't very far away.
And we're on roads at this point. Like, I wasn't worried about my safety or anything. But
Right. Well, you should be. It's South Carolina.
that's true. It's
Yeah.
true. We saw some cool things out there. But no, but it was great. And you, I think, gave me a bunch of food and some electrolytes and
That was the other key thing. I think you were drinking Gatorade or not actually doing
water.
electrolytes.
I wasn't
just
doing enough
water.
electrolytes. And I
Yeah.
think you also realized I was wearing my sweatshirt too long.
Oh yeah, I
It was,
forgot
like,
about that.
chilly
You had
enough. I was
your
wearing a fleece.
long sleeve or something.
And you were like, take that off. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm feeling good. You're like, no, take
because
that off.
yeah, so I've seen that before. People keep their rain jacket on. It's cold in the morning. You start going, and they never take it off, and they're actually going through a bit of heat exhaustion, and they don't realize it.
Because it's cold out.
And they're like keeping it in, and they're like, well, it's hot enough now, you don't need it, but you've already passed the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a weird one. I forgot about that. So that happened to me the year before, and Eddie's like, take your clothes off. I'm like, wait, what? And so I biked around for like 2 hours with like just my shorts and no equipment, no helmet, just breathing deep.
And I think for me it was like 45 minutes. And
I was probably
ready to
I
rock
was
again.
pretty bad. Well, at least for me, it felt like it was 2 hours when
Yeah.
it was me, but it probably was only like 45
Half an hour,
minutes.
40 minutes,
But
yeah.
it feels worse when it's you're the one down.
But it's good to know it's not just me. That's what I was
no.
like. I was definitely embarrassed in the moment. I was like, great, I'm the guy.
Happens all the time.
It was
So
good.
Jason
Like,
was the next
did it
one.
the next one, and
So it was pretty funny. So I don't know if I told you this. So
you're the
we,
common denominator,
I know I'm
so-
there. But I did it to myself. So in the last race up at Camp Ocoee, he's like, I am really bad off. We got back, got the Gatorade, got on the bikes. He's like, I still don't actually feel good. I'm like, that's fine. Let's just hang out here for a second. So we were either going to bike 50 kilometers, pick up 3 checkpoints, or shortcut it, go the 10 kilometers, and get back to the canoes faster, and then maybe do some more. Turned out, being like, he said, I don't feel great, let's just go the shortcut. I'm like, yeah, perfect, let's do that. We did the same thing. I took his backpack, his shirt, and whatever, and I put it all in the bag, and we're like, let's just go. We made it back, ended up getting in jumped in the water for a while, got in the canoes, picked up more checkpoints than the other guys who went the other way, and the other teams and us both finished at the same time. So we crossed the line with like 5 minutes left, and they're like, we just got back from the bike. I'm like, that is crazy, because we picked up, like, instead of the 3, we picked up like 9 more checkpoints. Yeah, so we beat them by being weaker.
I love that you guys also swam.
We did do a little bit of...
That's brilliant.
Not real swim, well, I don't know. I don't swim very well, I float.
Really?
Yeah. I just blow up the airbag in the backpack where your water is, and you can hold on to that and just like, I can't swim. Yeah, I'm not... If you ever want to beat me in any sort of race, just throw either a bunch of sit-ups or put some swimming in it. Yeah. I'm like that guy.
We should work on swimming. Let's do this.
That's what life vests are for. You don't need them. You just put a vest on and we're good. So are you going to race again with me?
I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it on record right here.
November is the next one, right?
Well, September.
No, I can't make it September. I'll be out
You
of town.
keep saying that.
I told you I was out of town.
Whatever. It's not. It's spring break. You just drop that stuff. It's CrossFit first and then family.
This isn't CrossFit.
It's
adventure racing.
True. It's adventure racing, then CrossFit, and then family. Yeah. So November there's one in North Georgia somewhere. I don't know, White Georgia or something like that.
in.
Yeah. It should be pretty fun.
I'll make that one happen. And it won't overheat, hopefully.
That would be November.
Yeah.
And watch it be like.
I know.
It's Georgia November.
120 degrees.
Right. There was one New Year's Day where my kids were in the backyard playing in the creek in shorts and a t-shirt. And you're like, it's New Year's Day and we're all sweaty and we're in the creek. Yeah, here in Georgia, who knows? You just never know what's going to happen.
February's rough, though. It's usually cold.
It can be pretty cold. Or it's Georgia.
Who knows?
Maybe it'll be green.
Global warming.
Yeah,
Potentially.
it could be that.
You never know.
That's a topic we could talk about one day.
Not today.
Global cooling, global warming. Right now in Georgia, it's global warming. It's super hot.
Yeah.
You need global AC. That's what we need. Okay, so how's CrossFit working out for you so far?
I love it.
Yeah, you feeling pretty fit?
I do.
Has your wife been like, I need you to lift something? And you're like, yeah, hold my beer.
Yes, and I've had friends be like, man, something's working. So
Yeah?
it's been positive.
That's very
I mean,
good.
it's just you, but still.
Yeah, whatever. I did say it. So I will say that. You're like, can I make this race work? I was like, you've been doing CrossFit for about a year. That's totally fine. You're doing the exact same training I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And did you believe me, or you're like, he's a bunch of crap?
I believed you, and I regretted that a little bit. I should have trained a little more.
Like, which part? Like running, or there was a lot of running in this one, which is
I think
unusual.
I wish I had done a little more running, a little more endurance, right? But I think that's also, I'm not really as consistent with the CrossFit.
Yeah.
I'm maybe doing 3 days a week.
That's perfect.
And like that's
3
what I
days
can
to start.
squeeze in. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days to start, 4 days is kind of like the sweet
Optimal.
spot. 5 days is good, except if you're like 960 like me.
Yeah.
5 days can be a little rough.
Keeps growing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I've loved
Okay.
it. I think it's been phenomenal. I love the gym. I love the culture. I feel like it's been a great outlet for me.
Oh, yeah.
On a daily basis to get away.
So I think it's kind of fun in the idea of you're responsible for things all day
Yes.
long, everything, your work, the home, whatever. You literally can walk into the gym. You don't even know what the workout is.
Nope.
And the coach has got you.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, you should probably go heavier or lighter.
Yep.
And you're like, okay. So weirdly, I own the place. Not weirdly, I own the place. And weirdly,
It's weird.
Yeah, I know. It is. I'm an engineer that has a gym. What? And a landlord. How does that work? I don't know. Third base. Nobody. Yeah. Who's gonna understand where that came from? So I literally just show up, and whatever.
Yeah.
It's usually Coach Danny or Coach Jamie tells me like do more, do less, whatever.
Good
Yep.
programming. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But I've loved that. I like the variety too of not
Yeah.
knowing it's coming, and I feel like that's kept me more multifunctional, and
Oh,
again
yeah.
makes these races doable.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, yes, we could probably bike more, and we could probably jog a little bit more, but
We don't need to buy more.
yeah. Get on
We can let that go.
You can always just do that. But the nice thing is, it's never like it's a 12-hour race. It's not that much that we couldn't do it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I could do. So
Totally.
fascinating part is, without really trying too hard, we are healthy and fit enough to
Yeah.
do a lot of things that our peers could probably not do.
100%.
Yeah. And you've got like a young one. And
Yeah.
Right. We all have, well, I don't have young ones anymore, but we want to be around. We both want to be around for our kids for a long time and
Totally.
active.
That's why I initially came in.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. We found out we were pregnant that night. I signed up for a triathlon.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was just like, I'm gonna get old quick. Like,
I'm
I'm gonna fight it.
Triathlons are tough.
I did a sprint. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But yeah.
So unlike a triathlon, we could cut things off in our race.
I know. I like that much more.
You're like, you guys want us to head back now? Can we? We can do whatever we want.
I appreciate that about you, Andy. You're not cutting things.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, if we make it back alive, we're good. Okay, so tell me what was your first job you ever had?
Oh, first job. I was a busboy in an Italian restaurant. Yeah, that was great.
So yeah, that's for coaching.
Yeah, I made great money. It was like super formal, fancy place.
And did they didn't tip the busboy?
Oh, I made tips.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, I buttered up the old people there.
Oh
It's
yeah,
great.
like me. I like it.
Just buttered them.
So did you? Yeah, but shoot, they're like, this is gross, but I guess. So what did you learn from that?
Sales, if I'm being
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
It was about like catering, understanding your needs, identifying those things, anticipating things.
That's probably the biggest one. I've done this before. I see it coming. And actually, we had this conversation. You and Jennifer were both doing Olympic lift, and I had a video of you both in the same position trying to press out.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you know how to fix that? I'm like, I see this all the
All the
time.
time.
I'm anticipating. I see what you're doing. I know it. Right. So if
Yeah.
you see it enough, I guess I
in
take
front
that
of it.
back. Some people do not learn and anticipate in the job. They're just like, whatever, I showed up. So you go for the next step, which is why you're in consulting. I will show up and do more.
Yep.
Right, and that's why they keep giving you more work, because if you want something done right, give it to a busy person.
And I resent that at the moment, but yes.
You resemble it as well. I am busy. It's hard to keep life going. So what is something that your parents or grandparents taught you that you find super valuable now? Especially you have a kid, so that could be... It doesn't have to
really
be
good
super
one.
valuable. It could be something. Because like if you're trying to find the number one
To tie
thing
my
on the
shoes.
spot, yeah,
You know,
there you go. It is kind of funny. I have noticed, I know, you're like, he has a story on tying shoes. I do. Because I see a lot of people tie their shoes for double unders in the run. I didn't realize there were so many ways to tie your shoes. I always thought it was, you go around the thing, the dragon
ears,
flies
baby.
through the loop and whatever, but I see people doing things, I'm like, I don't even know if that'll hold. That's why you tie your shoes a lot, because you're doing not a square knot, you're doing something else.
Wait, really?
People do other stuff, yeah.
Do you ever do the runner's loop? There's the extra thing at the top, the extra hole.
Yes, I have, and it feels like my foot is being decirculated.
I've never
That's
tried
not
it.
words.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Circulation's
circulation.
being cut off.
That's what I'm trying to say, yes. so I don't. But I have tried it. It's supposed to be.
It doesn't allow movement, right? Forward and back.
It doesn't allow life. It's like,
I think you did it too tight.
it's like a blood choke. They're like, I don't know, I'm about to pass out, but my feet went numb. And you're like, oh, I'm just stumbling around on blocks.
I love it.
Yeah. So did they teach you? What did they teach you? Did you learn something? Something that isn't tying your shoes?
Oh God, are we getting deep here?
No, you could, sure. I mean, it's your podcast.
I feel like my dad really taught me to dream.
Oh, I like that.
Where there was an arrogance and a naivety, I should say, to being a kid. Like I could literally do anything I wanted to do, and it opened up a lot of amazing doors that I would never considered exploring.
Sure, and technically you can, except there are some things that are they're improbable,
barriers.
but not impossible.
Sure.
Hey, I want to be president. That's just improbable.
Yeah.
There's
That's
one
it. Totally.
presidential job, and there's, I don't know, 400 million people in America, so
Yeah.
chances are low, but yeah.
But go for it.
Yeah, you go for
But
it.
again, like it was really cool, and I think it really helped open up my
So dream big?
horizons. Yeah.
So shoot for the stars and land on the moon?
It would never be how he pitched it, but I like where you're going.
I stole that from someone else again. So everything I've got is rephrased. That's right. What? Is that how it is in that family? I use that line too. My kids are like, Dad, no one else knows what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, but that's hilarious. Anyway, go watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's hilarious. So, military-wise, did you have any? You said your messed up legs came from military?
Yeah.
Okay. What about shoulders? I always get a lot of military guys with like my shoulders from all the push-ups.
Did a lot of push-ups, but I think it was more.
No problem.
I was airborne, so I was jumping into planes a lot. I think
very
that
cool.
took a toll on the legs.
Did you ever, when you were jumping out, go, I hope this parachute opens?
Every single time.
Really? Okay. I figured you either like I trust it or I'm nervous every time.
I mean, I had friends who got dragged by planes and stuff.
No.
Oh yeah.
And they're just like
slapping them against the plane.
Oh
and
my
they have
gosh.
to pull them in. People definitely get hurt, and I think even the parachutes they still fall at 32 feet per second.
okay.
So when they're fully inflated, so you're coming down like a sack of potatoes.
Wait a minute. They still fall at gravity? I thought it was.
I don't think gravity's 32 feet per second.
It is.
Then no, I must be wrong. Are you sure?
Yes. 10 meters
Talking
per
to an
second or
engineer.
30. Yeah, I'm an engineer. Yeah. You want F equals
I'm
MA?
gonna double check
Yeah,
this
it
then.
is true because it's 10 meters per second.
But you're coming fast.
Or
The whole-
9.8 meters per second squared, which is 3 feet in a meter, so it's about 32 feet per second. So it's probably not that, but you're coming down fast.
You're
'Cause
fast.
I've seen them land, and they're like, you're going to break your legs if you don't.
It's up at the roll.
It is.
It's rolling
So
out.
it's different than like
You're not flaring. The
yeah. When people have
parachute.
flary shoots, you have like oh shit shoots. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
just to
so
get
you're
you on
coming
the
down
ground.
solid.
Yes.
So I've seen that. I have cousins that have been in the military that have messed their knees up, like
Yeah.
jumping out with like big packs.
Yep. Rucksacks and everything.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you throw those? I guess it would get lost.
Lost, and again, in theory, you're planning to drop into enemy territory,
Oh,
so you don't
that's a good
want
point.
to get rid of your stuff.
I mean, really, would we ever do that again?
Likely not, but I
Yeah.
think it still could happen.
I mean, ask the guys from D-Day. Like, did you
know.
enjoy that? Like,
No
like,
way.
like 50
Getting
calibers.
shot at?
Right.
Nope.
No.
No way.
I would have like not
like-
opened my chute until the very last moment.
82nd Air Force is like our response force who does this. And
Oh, really?
That is their specialty, and they're usually like our first responders.
And
for
they
a
jump
lot.
in.
Well, they're supposed to. I don't know when the last time they did this. It's
Do you
been
ever
a
do
while.
a halo?
No. I wish. It'd be
Is
awesome.
that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a separate certification.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What about the guy who he did something like he jumped from outer space? Remember seeing that video?
No.
I'm gonna have to find it and link it. It's
Why?
interesting. He's standing on this platform, and you're like, I think he's in outer space, and he is. He's got like a helmet and whatever, and he jumps. You're like,
On
he
a
is
platform?
literally falling towards the Earth. How did he even? Yeah. So I guess it could
Wait,
be
where was
AI
the platform from? Like on
They went up in a thingy that goes to space, which might be
Oh.
called a spaceship or
And then he
something.
just stepped out and
He
went.
stepped out. I don't know exactly what it was, but there's also that guy who jumped out of a plane without a parachute and he landed in a net.
I've seen that. That is insane.
Did you watch and you're like,
Yeah, this is
there's so many.
insane.
Yeah.
I just watched the video of some dude the other day who was base jumping, and he came back and like slammed into the face, tore up his chute. He was basically like getting thrown down this rock face and grabbed on and held on.
No,
and
we
then
did
called
not.
for help.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. I'll send you a video.
Yeah, you're gonna have to link me in that.
It was
one.
awesome.
The guy, so falling into the net. The thing that I came away with the most is, well, one, you're just
The
incredibly
vertebrae?
stupid, but at the very end, he's like face first, and then he has to roll to hit his back, but not too soon because he might miss. Like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna link that. If you've never seen it, it is the scariest thing.
Things you should never do.
Never do. And his wife's over there going, yeah, I told him not to do it, but could really use the money. I don't know what she didn't say
really
that, but I could just like.
His life insurance policy is amazing.
Cool. No one would cover that. I mean, it is definitely not covered. If you jump out of a plane without a parachute, nobody covers that.
No.
You literally did something like stupid.
You deserve what you get.
Yeah, but he did land in the net, which would be a different video if he didn't. But
we wouldn't be watching it, passing it around.
Have you ever seen people doing parkour?
Yeah.
And they do like crazy stuff, and then someone like will drop, and you're like, oh my gosh. They don't show it, but they're like, there's no way they could have lived. I had to stop watching parkour videos because I'm like,
I've seen the fails.
Yeah,
like,
it's
big
bad.
fails.
Like, I don't know how. I mean, can they post a video of someone dying on YouTube?
I don't know.
I don't know how all that works, but I actually got banned from YouTube and Facebook back in the 2020s. I didn't know you couldn't say certain words. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So I was just going through like the top 10 ways people die, and showing that, hey, CrossFit, like first one is cardiovascular, so like, hey, heart disease. If you did some CrossFit-y stuff, you probably would be okay, right? And next one is like cancer, and so if you ate well or whatever, you could probably, or environment, you could probably fix that. And then at the time, the third one was COVID, and so I said the word, and I guess that banned me.
COVID?
Yeah, on Facebook. So my live video got taken down like 10 minutes after, and I'm like, I'm not that popular, who cares? But it was pretty funny because the other three ones are like for teenagers, it's like stupidity, 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 and stupidity. It's like hilarious. If you're a teenager, just don't be dumb and you have got it made. Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah. Kinetic impact was the fourth one. That's it. So
wait, stupidity.
No. For adults, it was ballistic things like cars, bullets, and whatever. So kinetic impact. It was like hitting things quickly because your fleshy stuff shouldn't do that.
I've never heard of those being combined.
I might have just cheated and made that a thing, but yeah, it was something like that. I guess it was probably car or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then opioids, right?
Probably.
Climb to the top now.
Fentanyl or something?
Yeah.
Is that? I don't know. I don't understand that world. I hate to be addicted to things, and so that would just really crush me to be addicted to something that is totally addictive. Yeah, I wouldn't like that at all. Well, I mean, nobody should. But.
And through like easy, like it's understandable how people get hooked.
Oh yeah.
Right, with like chronic pain, and
that's
really sad.
Yeah. So speaking of really sad, did I make you cry yet? Okay. So I'm not gonna make you cry. I love this. So of the people,
I love this.
If I had to make a list in any day of the week of the top 10 like fun go-givers in the gym, you would always make the list no matter what.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I love seeing you come in, and sometimes I do joke like, "Really, you're here now?" I'm totally kidding. Yeah. So we usually can laugh. Yeah, and we're high-fiving. So except for the one time I wasn't kidding.
But you always tell me the secrets. You always tell the secrets of CrossFit right before I get there.
And that's the secret to CrossFit. I used to do that for my soccer kids. The funny thing is, like Tina would be late, and I would say, and that's the secret to soccer. And then Tina's in the group, and like Sally is running in late, and I go, "Hey guys, you ready?" And that's the secret to soccer. And Sally was there. They're getting pissed that they're missing it. I'm like, "You were here for the joke. It's just a joke." And they're like, "Coach, what is it?" I'm like, "There
isn't one."
One day somebody walked by as I made the joke, and they backed up and said, "So what is the secret?" I'm like, and just off the cuff, I said, "Listen to your coach." And like, guys, or maybe I said showing up. I don't know, but I was like, actually, that's probably it. Just show up.
Roll with it.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a pretty good one. That's probably what it is. I don't know.
I'm yet to hear it. So
yeah, I know.
I'm excited. One of these days.
Are you coming this Saturday?
Yeah, for that.
For the lifting clinic. Yeah. So you're going to learn the secret of lifting. So it won't be quite
I'm
CrossFit.
really excited for this.
Oh, it's going to be. Are you going to bring your multiple phones to video yourself from two angles?
Yeah, I don't have a tripod.
You don't have to. We have boxes. We'll just set it up with weights and dumbbells.
Yes.
And be like, go. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. But, I mean, usually I am, but yeah.
Huge plug for Andy, though. Like, thanks for giving us more of your time for this.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Because
did you see the value I put on there?
No.
It was free for members, $50 for alumni, and $1,000 to anyone who's not a member. So now you can be like,
$1,000?
That's right. So your wife is like, wait.
$1 zillion.
Yeah, I just saved us $1,000.
You're welcome, honey. Like, where'd you put that?
What's that?
Was it on the board?
No, it was in an email.
Oh.
Yeah. So I wondered if anybody, maybe I I don't know. I put something in there. They're like, he's just making that up. I'm like, I am. Whatever.
I love it.
I would do it for you guys no matter
though.
what. But so if you had the billboard out on 92, and you could put any message on the billboard to the world, it doesn't have to be health and fitness. It could be anything. What message would you put out to the world?
Don't trust Andy. Bring water.
It's that is very, very true and fair. If there was a second message that you would give to the world,
Love each other.
oh yeah, like
come on.
it's funny that the vast majority of people say something like love, be kind, or whatever. So
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's all we need to do.
Is the glass half full or half empty?
Full.
Yeah, it's always half full.
Totally.
Have
Things
fun,
are good.
laugh.
Things are good.
Don't take yourself seriously. I don't know. That's probably the thing I've learned the most as I turned 97, is that most of the stuff I knew to be certainly true is definitely not. Or it shades off.
Oh,
And you're like,
do you have any tattoos?
in my heart. Like, I have tattoos underneath my epidermis.
That makes no
on the
sense.
inside. Yeah.
Are you afraid to get a tattoo because of the permanence? Does it like spook you a little bit? Given what you've learned, that like,
That's a fascinating thing. Would I ever get a tattoo? I don't know if I'd ever get a tattoo. I just have never even really considered, like, I grew up in the
BFFs.
80s and I wasn't like boss enough, like in a bike gang. I think
There's still time. I believe it.
no, but I think you grow up with these like this ambiance of like
Yeah.
a tattoo is what you put on when you like kill people, or like I could bench 400 pounds, and I'm like, I can't. I'm a small guy. I don't think small guys like me from the 80s should have tattoos.
Oh, interesting.
I should have gray hair.
Those aren't mutually
I
exclusive.
don't know. Yeah,
but
I don't know.
appreciate
That's so
that.
interesting. Would I ever get a
But it's
tattoo?
interesting, like, as you learn more.
Do you have a
realize-
tattoo?
Just my wedding ring.
I've got the same matching one on me. We're like,
Are we married?
we're twinsies.
We're married.
Yeah, look at that. No, actually, it's probably something I should do. I almost ripped my finger off with my wedding band.
Yeah.
So I stopped wearing it. My wife's like, so you're going to wear that band? I'm like, oh. It's
That's
because
why.
my finger almost got ripped off. And then, Jimmy Fallon, the late night.
Ripped his off.
He almost,
Yeah.
he had a cast on it for a very long time. And I kept Googling, why is his finger in a cast? That doesn't make any sense. And it's because
Really intrusive.
he
Respect
I
his
know.
privacy.
No, it's on the internet. So I called him. I was like, yo, Jimmy.
What's up, man?
Yeah, what's going on? I do. So I actually know. Do you know Rich Froning?
Who?
So I love it. My gym has no idea who these people are. So he's like the baddest person ever in CrossFit.
No clue.
Yeah. So he won the CrossFit Games like 97 times with a broken ankle
No
and
way.
one arm or something. So yeah, he's phenomenal. So he has a gym up in Tennessee. But anyway, I would like to call him up and be like, I have his number. I was like, hey, you want to go on an adventure race with me? So
Let's do it.
I mean,
November.
it would
Let's
be
do
awesome.
it.
He'd probably do it. He just did a podcast about doing these massive bike rides, but anyway. So I can't call whoever we're talking about famous, but I could call him. He's only famous to us older people.
To you.
To me, yeah. So what would the message be if you had, besides St. Dimas High School football rules and bring water, don't trust Andy? I'm totally going to post
Love each
that
other?
somewhere. I think I'm going to make that the title of this. Bring water, don't trust Andy. That's totally going to be the title of this podcast. People are going to be like, what does that even mean?
Don't worry about
You got to
it.
wait till 56
Just bring-
minutes to get there.
I really hope you do. That would be great.
Oh, I'm going to title it something weird. No, you don't have a, you don't want.
Love people?
Oh, you
Love
said that
yeah,
already. Yeah.
You're not listening to me.
I didn't. Many times I don't. That's like, I just nod my head a lot. Yeah. That happens at home too. I'm like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I look
I'm
at the
moving
kids.
on.
I'm like, am
Well,
I
you're-
supposed to do something? Was
You're
I supposed
conducting
to?
a podcast.
It's,
You're facilitating. I
thanks
get
for,
it, man.
Thanks for
I get it.
covering me in
I
front of the
read
people. All
meetings.
6 of the people are like, why is Andy such a jerk? How about this? Any podcasts or books that you like or listen to or recommend now?
My favorite book of all time is The Devil in the White City.
Ooh, what is that about?
Eric Larson's the author. He does a lot of, it's cool. He'll tell different nonfiction stories that overlap. So this was about the World Fair that came to Chicago.
Okay.
At the same time that H.H. Holmes came in and set up the first like torture chamber hotel and was a serial killer. And it's like these two things happening side by side, and it's mind-blowing. but, like,
I'm going to put that in my list.
It
I
is
don't read,
phenomenal.
but I listen to a lot of books.
It's phenomenal. And it's like told in such a way that's compelling. It's not like a typical nonfiction book that's like
Right.
wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
So you get sucked into what's going on. And
Right.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I usually don't do nonfiction because I don't want more life in my life. I want like weird stuff.
I get it.
Like space aliens and
Something to
magic
check
and
out a
whatever.
little
Yeah,
bit.
like
Yeah.
that's kind of neat. You just whatever. What about podcasts?
Podcasts,
You can't do that because there's
Oh.
a mic right there. Yeah. So-
Reply All, which is no longer on the air, but it's been one of my favorites.
Oh, it's on the air.
No.
I love that. No. What does on the air actually mean? Say it. Come on.
Radio, baby.
What is that? I don't think my kids have used the radio ever.
I listened up until like last year. I loved the radio.
Oh,
It's
really?
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Morning shows? Come on.
I just don't like the commercials.
No, that's fair.
If they could be like,
Yeah.
I keep trying to fast forward radio and you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reply All, though, is exceptional. They talk about like random you'd actually really dig this. It's technology things that come up and they can't explain it, and they'll go deep. Or they'll do something around like a scammer. And
Yeah.
it's cool. Like one time they got scammed. Somebody like tried to access their Windows virtually, and they like let them do it just to see what was going on.
Oh, man.
And then they followed him. He actually flew to India to like find the people who were doing this, and like break in.
And what did they say? They're like, Well, over here it's not illegal.
Well, they were like, what are you going to do? Take a hike? But there was definitely some intimidation going on. Like, they went out for dinner and got really tense.
Yeah.
And,
was the guy like a bigger dude so he could intimidate, or was he like on the smaller
the
side?
Indians were intimidating him.
Interesting. They're not known to usually be very.
But I think it was like a nefarious crew.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, but it's fascinating. So they'll do random things like that, but very tech focused, but just kind of fun.
And it's called Reply All.
Reply All.
Oh, I like that.
They got canceled for I think some other fun things, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it might still be there.
It's still on.
RSS feed is.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's
so
on there. It's a Gimlet podcast.
Oh, cool. I
And
don't know
love
what that
Gimlet.
means, but I like
it's like
that.
a whole company.
Series of. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. I guess I should know more about podcasts. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
No.
Yeah. Only recently can I even edit these. So.
I believe.
It took me.
I'm excited.
Levi, to edit this
You
if I
need
need
sponsors. That's your next.
I do have a sponsor.
Oh.
Yeah, this is sponsored by Andy McCann and the
Never heard of it. Who
McCann
is
Farm. Yeah, so there's a chicken farm that sponsors
Right here?
us. Yeah, that's right. That too. And then Adventure Racing sponsors us. Yep. And the gym, CrossFit Garage.
Yeah,
The name.
I love this.
Current name of this podcast.
And it's Levi's YouTube channel.
Mine. I have more subscribers than him, which
he was
breaks
loaded
his
with
heart.
this.
I know. He had 6. I've got 7. So. Actually, it is kind of funny. I had some guy, I just posted this thing, well, not just, it was an old post of a video on Bitcoin, and this guy goes, you repeated the same thing so many times, this video could have been 1 minute long. And so I replied, hey, funny, if you go look at all my videos, I felt the same way. I try to make them all 1 minute long, because then it's called a short. What the hell is, there's a YouTube short. It's anything under 60 seconds. I'm like, oh. So I try to edit everything I do in video format down to 60 seconds, because if you can't explain it in 60 seconds,
you don't really understand it.
Just hit rewind. They literally, you can go back and look. So I'm like, recently lightning cracked over the house and blew a lot of things out. So I'm like, all right, that's my job. Hold my beer. I'm going to go fix this. So the washing machine is out. Well, it's probably a GCFI or ground fault circuit. GFCI. So I'm looking for the GFCI. I can't find it. Go in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, there's one right here. It's close to the laundry room. And it's totally fine. I'm like, okay, well, that's not it. So I end up changing out the outlet, change out the fuse, and then finally I look over and the recharging vacuum cleaners are in an outlet. I'm like, oh no, don't you, and I unplugged it and it's a GFCI. I'm like, oh man, I just spent all this time and all I had to do was, so I was recording that, right, making videos and cutting things out. I'm like, and here's the idiot who finally solves it by actually unplugging things.
I love it.
And pressing a button. Yeah. So anyway, everything I try to do on there is like a second long.
Yeah.
Or not a second. 1 minute long. Yeah. Although I have this Chickens for Beginners video that it's just me going out and showing what I do, and it's got like 20,000 views on it.
No way.
Which I'm like, who? It's not.
What are you doing to the chickens?
Yeah, it was very exciting. Apparently, I don't know. So I guess it tells them what they want to hear. Any other podcasts? I'm gonna have to start loading you up on podcasts because I have tons of podcasts.
I don't have time, so I don't have a.
What about chores? You listen while you do chores.
I don't really have time for chores. So I do it when I'm mowing, but that's when I go to like replay. I'm listening to Scamanda right now.
What's that?
Not great. But
Not great?
It's entertaining. It is about a lady who pretended to have cancer.
Oh no!
And
is it for real or is it a fake thing?
I think it's true. It's some investigative journalist who tracked it down, but she was asking for donations from her church and a bunch of people out.
That's not unusual. Yeah. That stuff happens all the time.
But it just like gets super dark.
Right.
But
I always feel weird about those. Like, hey, I need money. You're like, do you?
Yeah. But I'll be honest, it's my job to give. Like, if you're in a place for me to ask,
see, me too. I'm like,
I'm
let's
better
give.
off. Like,
and if you fouled it, that's your fault.
That's on you. That's okay.
And the other thing I feel is like, if $20 wrecks me, then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I got other problems. And the problem is money.
Yeah. But I still get sucked into those, like, those people who are scam artists. I think scamming is fascinating, just as a concept.
Well, this is what this is. I have a long game. You must CrossFit with me every day.
You paid for my lunch, man, so we're good. Like,
you bought my coffee. I'm totally even.
I'm up $15.
What would you tell? So you said when you started, were you nervous or afraid or worried or anything when you started doing CrossFit?
Yeah, all the above.
Yeah. So if there's a guy out there that's, what are you, like 22?
And a half, but I'm almost 40, which is crazy.
And so you started CrossFit later.
Yep.
And so you walk in there, you're a little nervous. So what would you tell somebody who's like you? Hey, I get this a lot actually. Hey, I'm 40. I haven't done anything in 20 years. What do I do? I'm like, no, that's perfect. That's who we work with.
So I'll tell you, having tried one other gym, it is not the same across all CrossFit gyms, right? And I can't stress that enough.
That is very true.
I think CrossFit Garage makes it extremely approachable, and I think they meet you where you are. I brought my mom in. Like, you hosted a Saturday class for just me and her.
Oh, that's right.
She was curious.
I was like, who else came in with it? It was your mom.
It was so cool. I mean, she's 65, 70, somewhere in there. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't.
Yeah.
68.
Something. Mom, we love you.
But it's amazing where she was really scared and loved it and was like, I would do this if I had this at home. Like,
she does,
this
somewhere.
Community. But I think it's the culture. It's
Well,
people who make
that's
it
true.
approachable and fun and don't make you feel stupid for not being able to lift 400 pounds. You know,
Right.
it's just like, wherever you are, it's great.
Or
and we're
know
gonna
the
get-
name of the movements. Like, I still have people who've been for like 2 years. They're like,
Yeah.
what exactly is a clean and jerk? Again? Like, that's okay. That's why I'm here.
That's why the videos
Yeah,
are in
you
your
don't,
app.
need, you don't need to. I gotcha.
But I think that's what I love is like I can come in, I can get strong, I can be healthy, I can build good habits. I think there's a nutrition piece.
Did we do any nutrition yet?
I did that with Laura.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
You
and
get
it
any
was-
good habits?
Yeah, phenomenal. I didn't.
The funny thing is,
maintain them
it doesn't
forever,
have to
but-
be like crazy tough. It's just drink
No.
water or
Drink water. It was you make better choices.
Right.
It was pay attention to what you're eating. But all of that really, really helped, and I had some incredible results after like 30 days.
Right.
So I'm a huge believer. I think it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I think it's just getting in there and doing it,
Yeah.
and also being friendly to people in the gym.
Yeah.
That's what made it really to me is not knowing anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of it, like elbowing each other, telling jokes, and
you're like, when am I going to get into the group? You're
Yeah.
like, well, as soon as you want to be. It's
Exactly.
really
But everyone's so approachable and
just
kind. Yeah.
like say hi, and people are like, oh, hi.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that people forget is everyone had a starting point.
Yeah.
And that starting point is pretty like far back.
Yeah.
And you don't know like
How
where they
bad-
came from, right? So like I've had several people like they'll look at like I don't know, like let's say Coach Laura, and they're like, wow, she can do this. I'm like, well, one, she's a coach.
Yeah.
And two, this is like year 7. And they're like, oh. I'm like, yeah, so just give it some time. She didn't start yesterday.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it can be, again, it's just good to be humble when you're coming into.
Yes.
I think my first
Well,
partner
that's us.
workout-
Happy, humble, helpful. All of
Yes.
us, I think, in the end, all of us are on that side. But yeah, okay, partner workout, go.
My
Yeah.
first partner workout, I got partnered with Sharon.
Oh yeah, she'll crush it.
And it was the most humbling experience
Oh, yeah.
ever. And she was like, oh, this whole thing? Whatever.
Yeah, I
I'll
got
do sit-ups
this,
all
yeah.
day long. And I was like dying.
So I have changed what I say. So the Smiths have something cool. They usually will say, hey, they're just genetically predisposed to awesomeness. I do think there is some truth to that.
They work so hard.
But that's the thing is,
They work so
I don't
hard.
want to undervalue the fact.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
The
It's
whole
somewhat
family
true.
does.
But they work hard, and so like between the two of them, they have nearly 4,000 logins at the gym over 10 years, and they are
incredible.
some of the most consistent people. So if anything, what I really should be saying is, consistency pays off.
Yeah.
And caring. So
Yeah.
both of them, Sharon and Joe, care about their longevity and health and fitness, right? And
Yep.
so it's weirdly becomes easy after 10 years. She's like, I know exactly what this workout's going to be like.
How I'll feel.
And
throughout
how I'll
it,
feel,
Where I'm going
where I
to
can
excel,
push
where
and
I'm
where-
gonna struggle. Yeah, totally.
That's it. Yeah. So it can be. So yes, she doesn't like it when I partner with her because she knows I don't take it too serious. She's like, oh, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm like, just you keep going. Leave me. Leave just like you say. Yeah,
you get it
leave me.
now.
I'm like, you got it. I'll make it in eventually.
That's awesome.
All right, so guys, if you're looking for a place to get healthy and fit and have some fun, you can come to us. We are at CrossFit Garage, just south of downtown Woodstock. You can find us on all the socials and on the web. Weirdly, it's CrossFitGarage.com. I know, strange. And my email address is even more strange. It's Andy@CrossFitGarage.com.
Chickenhatcher.com.
Chicken Hatcher. I should put the human chicken hatcher. If you are interested in chickens, we are going to do a podcast on that. I'm trying to collect all the chicken people and gardening people together so we can have a big
I don't like
podcast.
being called that.
Oh yeah, chicken people. Yeah, no, we do. This is a type of people, and we're going to get everyone either growing their own plant for like
Yeah.
grow something and eat something that you made, or your own chicken, which would be a little harder to do.
I'll vote for chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
I'm in. Let's do
Everybody.
this.
So some people put their chickens in their house. They put diapers on them.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah,
They're
chickens
outside
are out.
pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just get a dog house, put a screen on it, and be like, live. Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, all right, y'all be good. Thank
Thanks,
you, buddy.
y'all.